What's good, people? Today I'm going to show you how to do the sick zoom through transition that everyone keeps asking me for. Yo, because every single time I post something to do with zoom transitions, you lot go crazy. Without fail, every single time. So I figured I'll show you lot a new version. And plus how to spice it up with the trap essentials. No more talk, let's jump straight into After Effects right now. Yo, you guys are constantly messaging me to do more zoom tutorials, so you know what, I gave in. Let's get straight into it. So this is the zoom out we're going to be doing today, a nice glitchy through a tunnel and out into the other clip. This project file is available for completely free, and we'll move on to that later on. So we've got three things. We've got the tunnel, we've got the clip we're zooming out into, which is this car window clip of Yeet, and then also the main clip of Yeet we're starting with here. So first thing you're going to do is layer your comps, right? So you're going to drag these over the top of each other just like this. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but we're going to be zooming out, so this doesn't have to cover the whole length. I'm not going to be going super in depth for this one, but if you don't want to see that on the next one, do let me know. Literally, highlight all of them, 3D, motion blur, right click, new, camera, make sure it's a 2 node, do whatever focal length you like. I'm going to stick with 35 because why not? From here, a few things. Select all your clips and press P so you can see all the positions. And then from here, take your clip a bit out so you can see it, and then select on the dolly tool and simply hold and drag outwards just like this. Something like that looks cool for me. First thing we need to do is go into your transform. Under your camera, point of interest and position need to be keyframed. Then go a bit forward and just zoom all the way out. Something like this will be okay for me, but then we're going to be altering it later anyways. From here, you need to drag up the Z value of your end clip, which is going to be the car one for me. So I'm going to drag this all the way until it kind of fits in the screen. And if I move it temporarily to the front, I can kind of get a feel for how it's going to look. What that screams to me is, one, we need to add in a bit of a faster animation here, but we're going to do that later on. Next thing you're going to do is see how we've got the end clip at about -9,000. Yours will be different to mine, of course, but for the tunnel, I'm going to put it roughly in between. So I'm going to put it at -4,500. And then I'm going to press S and scale it up by quite a bit. Something like this would be okay. So if I start scrubbing through it now, you can kind of see we've got it starting to work. It's magic. But for me, the zoom out into the tunnel is a bit too late. So that means I'm going to lower the Z position of the tunnel. Something like that's okay for me because we're going to be doing an opacity transition, so these bars won't be visible. But as long as it's not too much, like for example, if it was something like this, then I'd say, yeah, we need to bring it a bit closer. But with how that is, I'm happy with that. So as you can see, we zoom out slightly into the abyss of the tunnel. We keep zooming out until we're in the car window. But you can see the car window now, it's just a bit too small. So now what I'm going to do is first off scale it up slightly. And then I'm also going to bring the dolly in a bit because I think we've gone a bit extreme with it. I'm not looking for specifics at all. As long as it's all within the comp, that's fine with me. This is a very quick version. But now just go through your clip and double check everything looks okay to you. For me, I'm quite happy with them frames, but one thing I will do is bring the Z value of the last clip a bit more forward, because one thing, I feel the tunnel lasts for too long. So after upping my scale, I'm quite happy with how that's looking. On to the next step now, which is starting to make out the masks. First, let's start off with the car window, because why not? I'm going to pre-compose, and then I'm going to make sure these two things are checked here. Move all attributes into a new comp, and adjust comp layers to the span of the timeline. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is mask out the car window, yeah? Instead of using a normal AE mask or a mocha mask and tracking it, I'm just going to make my life easy and do roto brush just for the sake of it. Because it's going to be going so fast, you won't even recognize it, especially when we add a shake as well. So what I'm going to do is select our roto brush tool and double click on this layer, then expand this little bit here and start masking out the layer. If you guys don't know how to roto brush, I highly recommend you learn that before you even touch zoom transitions, because it's a big part of it. I really do stress learning the basics before you start doing anything complicated. It'll make your life so much easier. Trust me, learn from me on that mistake. So just roughly going through the roto brush, even though we got a bit of chatter, I'm more than happy with that. That's all we really need to get things going. So before you press freeze, you need to do one thing. Control D to duplicate it, and then you can press freeze on one of the layers. Then without moving your playhead, double click on the other one and then press inverted and then freeze that one. This will make sure they're both the exact same and it doesn't make the roto brushes different, and then you have gaps. You don't want that. But yeah, now you've got both your inverted and your non-inverted clip. You can now close this and you can see now, if I disable one of them, that's the outer one and that's the inner one. Time to make it a little less jagged though, so I'm going to change the feather to something like, I don't know, 15ish for each one. And now you can see everything starting to come together a bit better. Before we go any further, go into your tunnel clip and add in motion tile, yeah? Then set both to something like, I don't know, 200 each. This is just a safe value to make sure everything kind of works all properly. 200 is just a safe value. You can do whatever you want. And to be honest, I'm super happy with how the motion tiles turned out. For now, let's keep the inner layer hidden just while we're working on everything else. You're going to go onto your tunnel and add in a lumetri color. We need to make things a bit more similar color wise. So I'm going to give it that coldish kind of look. So I'm going to lower the tint slightly, lower the temperature as well, up the contrast, lower the shadows as well, and add a bit of highlights as well. This gives it a kind of similar spotlight kind of look to the main Yeet clip we're starting with. You see, with these color changes, it's a lot easier on the eyes, and unlike how it was before, when the colors are too different, it doesn't look as right, let's say. So yeah, use lumetri color how you normally would just to get the best possible match. So yeah, I'd advise using lumetri color just to get better matches of color. Then if you have this issue after pressing your lumetri color that the motion tiles disappeared, is a simple fix. Drag it above. Done. That's it. I'm moving around my keyframe slightly, and then I'm going to highlight all of them and press F9. Once you've used them, go into the graph editor, make sure you're on a speed graph, and this is my curve if you want to copy it. Go into your graph editor, right click, go into the speed graph, and then you can copy my curve if you'd like, but use whatever you feel is best for yours. Real simple one, nothing special. Yes, we've got them little jagged bits at the end, don't worry, we're gonna fix that. But as long as you're happy with how the zoom is looking, that's the main thing we need right now. Time to remove the jagged edges of the original clip. Go into your bottom layer and press T, and then roughly drag to where it starts, around here let's say, and then keyframe opacity and leave it at 100. Go more towards the end, maybe not fully, and turn it to 0, something like this. Again, F9 to ease to make it smoother, but it's all relative to your clip. You do what you think's best. You can see that's starting to fade in pretty nice now. Okay, so now our main intro to the tunnel is sorted. That's all smooth and nice. Now it's time from the tunnel to the outro. We need to do a window close, and this is where the inner layer of the window is finally going to be used. So you can go back in your comp and re-enable that layer now. From here you can decide where you want it to slide in from, but I want it to close roughly around here. So I'm going to press P, keyframe it here, then go slightly back and press P and keyframe it here where I want it to start, and then I'm going to press P and keyframe it here just to exactly where I want it to finish, closing the window. Then I'm going to go slightly back and drag it down out the frame by holding shift and left click. I'll just keep going until I make sure it's fully out of the window itself. From here, same thing, highlight all of them and F9. From here, same thing, highlight all of them and F9 again. And you can see it's starting to come together now, but that's way too late for me. So I need to bring this, 1, stretch it out a bit more, and 2, bring it closer to when the zoom animation is happening. You see, now it's a bit too fast for me though, so I'm going to bring it out slightly more again. Now that's the base zoom animation done. Let me show you how to spice it up even more now with the Trap Essentials. So no more talk, let me drop some insane sauce and let's get straight into it. First off, Ctrl-Alt-Y to add an adjustment layer, make sure it's above everything. I simply drag the CRT-ish overlay over the top, and you see it gives it that grungy CCTV hybrid kind of look. But you see this CCTV one here, same process, drag and drop, but this one is the real deal. This one's been used on some massive projects and a lot of people ask me for it, so it's definitely in demand for music videos. Now it's time for the transition side though. I just dropped in this glitch hit 1080p from the exact same pack, and you can see the difference already. This just adds so much more energy, man. It's got lots of glitches and it looks damaged as hell. And that look is highly in demand for rap, trap and drill music videos right now. And for those effects that we just covered, they're all inside the Trap Essentials pack plus much more. And because it's Black Friday, I'm offering a 50% discount plus free access to V2 when it comes out. The pack's been used on different music videos that get millions and millions of views, so you know it works. And for that price, it ain't gonna last long. 3 days you've got, so if you want to check it out, link in the description below. But if you want to have access to today's tutorial's project file for completely free, I've uploaded it, top link in the description. I hope this levels up your edits. I'll see you in the next one.